Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madelyn. So nice to have you here. And I would like to do a reading for the collective for Thanksgiving. And so we will start this reading today with asking for advice from the divine and for protection at this time. All right, so I would like to start, I was thinking about Thanksgiving, and it's a holiday obviously in the United States. Pretty much everyone watching my channels from the United States at this point. We often commemorate gratefulness. It's a family time. It has been kind of a time where we looked at maybe a coming together of Native American and, the Pilgrims and the Indians. And there certainly is a lot of bad blood as well in all of that situation, which I'm not going to get into today. But for some reason, when I saw this, angels and ancestors, I thought, hi, that's a good Thanksgiving deck. Let's start with that, with the angels and ancestors. So I would like to start with, what message would like to come out of this deck, and from our guides, from the divine, for Thanksgiving, maybe who will be here to come and bless and help us. Or messages for this time. So I really enjoy, I don't know where the box for this deck is. I was gonna, anyway, it has in it like this section that talks about, what is intended for this deck. And this deck is intended to give messages for the collective and to raise the vibration of the planet. And I thought that was such a cool intention. So the underneath, as I'm working, is the star ancestor. And it reminds me that on Saturday, we'll be having the meteor shower. And some people call it different things, but some people call it the Pleiadian. And the reason that's significant, there are a lot of starseeds that come from or have been to the Pleiades before this Earth. And so the Pleiades have a very strong connection. There's a lady I enjoy watching that sometimes posts on my group and on Spiritual Rebirth Tarot that actually connects and channels with the Pleiadians. And then also, I hope to do something for this channel on Saturday for the Pleiadian energies and that kind of time. So I know for sure that we'll be doing a live on the 30th on my Facebook, and then I usually post those on here eventually for the full moon time period, and it's also eclipse. So hopefully I'll be able to talk about that once I get back into town after all of these celebrations. So I'm just here in the house for today. Unfortunately, most of the places I go don't have good enough Wi-Fi to be able to put videos. So I tried to put a bunch of videos on there today. So let's take a look and see what our message is from the angels and the ancestors. So I like to put Reiki energy into the deck and ask for guidance. And the card I got is Sage. the Sage. So be devoted and committed. You know, he's writing in a journal. Actually, somebody I was watching today was talking about journaling and how just to write down when your intuition tells you things, so that you can start to listen to your intuition more. And then he's using the quill is from a peacock feather. This is a very fancy quill. All right, so let me take a look at the meaning of this card. Be willing to go the whole road and back again. This will allow you to be the best you can possibly be. The Sage represents the wise one within. When the card arises, it shows that you are preparing to become a great and insightful teacher to your peers, and it guides you to take notes as the wandering yogi. Sorry, I gotta get more light. I need to just turn my light on. Oh, it's gonna be all romantic. Because your knowledge and life experience can impart incredible insights to those with whom you come into contact. So it's interesting that this is talking about wisdom, because, you know, and intuition, because I was talking a little bit about that, and, you know, taking notes and writing about, you know, what's in your heart. And so this one card I was reading earlier today was talking about wisdom comes from the soul. And so, you know, as your soul goes through time, and, you know, you can all directions of time, your soul has these great insights that you can begin to grasp. On the other hand, you know, understanding and knowledge have to do with our experiences in this life, our understanding of what we've learned in our minds and what we're thinking about. And so the thoughts that we're having, the things that we're thinking, are more the knowledge and insights and experience, which are really important. But what this is saying is that during this time of Thanksgiving, you'll begin to grasp what is going on in your soul, which is kind of that deeper understanding. So that's what we'll be looking for, to be more devoted and committed, and to go the long haul and the direction. It was interesting because I was thinking about how, for me, the awakening and coming to new realizations in life have been very recent. And yet I look back on my life, and my spiritual path has been, you know, my whole life, and it's been very long. So it just, you get taken down different roads during your life. And so you'll go all the way to the end and back again. You know, it's kind of what this is saying. Okay, so the card that's coming out today is the Sage. The Sage is coming to us, and you know, kind of like the yogi, and it specifically talks about taking notes. So maybe whatever we're doing, or where we're going for Thanksgiving, you know, take our little journal with us and jot some things down as they come to our minds. Okay, so what I would like to do is I would like to use the Native American deck that we have to do the Celtic cross traditional spread for the Thanksgiving message. So I probably won't be doing any videos this week. related to the zodiacs. But I will try to get on and do a few collective type things. I traveled up to my parents. I think I posted one thing on there about my trip to Mount St. Helens. Just showed briefly what it looked like. And then could take a look at that. And then I also am now going to be going down to see my aunt and spend a little time there. She's somebody I usually am with quite a bit. So between those things, it's going to kind of limit how much time I have near my computer and Wi-Fi. Okay, so the Celtic cross, the first, let's go ahead and lay out the cards, and then we'll go through the meanings of everything. Okay, so the underneath of the deck often has kind of a message that is kind of like coming from our soul, or that deeper understanding from your higher self. What would they really like to tell you at this time? And so what we're seeing here, the Four of Cups. Is, you know, the Four of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, the Judgment, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Now, to me, kind of like, you know how you kind of want to manifest into your life that the soul, you know, compatible soulmate who will be there as your, you know, your strength, your support. You can work together, and you kind of like agree on some of the biggies in life, and you can work together on some of the biggies in life. I always kind of see these two, the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands, because the Four of Wands is kind of like the marriage card and the happy celebration, also kind of being in your happy place. And then the Two of Cups is, you know, that union or connection. So when I see those two cards together, I think that it's saying, you know, to kind of try to get to that point where you meet this person, or this person is manifested in your life in some ways. So, you know, it could be in the 5D, could be in the 3D. For some people, you know, the twin flame connection, this soulmate type of connection, where it's really coming from both sides, and it's a union of the Two of Cups. It's kind of, these other cards are leading to that. And so, you know, the Four of Cups is kind of like, in this deck, it's pregnancy. So it's like the seeds have been planted and they're growing. And, you know, whether it's growing inside your womb or growing in the garden, you know, the seeds have been planted, they're growing. And a lot of that has to do with balance. The Six of Pentacles, the balance, the coming together, the union. I know I was reading, today I was reading this, the Broken Arrow in this deck. And the broken arrow says, you know, you come to a point where you really be able to release fear when you know that you will not be hurt. And the reason you can trust that you will not be hurt is because you are being protected by your angels and ancestors. And through that protection, you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to fight. And this card is about, you know, two clans coming together in marriage instead of in fighting. And so, you know, a seed is planted, bringing that true balance and oneness into your life, and having that change, that transformation occur, you know, from the old into the new, will help to bring in this connection. And she talks about, you know, the connection can also be, you know, being in a happy place. Also, it has to do with just choosing, you know, happiness is a choice, and just choosing to have that happiness in your life. Okay, so when we take a look at the Celtic cross, I don't know why I do this. Okay. Oftentimes I forget one. Okay, so the first one is the situation, and then something that would challenge, you know, and challenges can be opportunities. So like obstacles can be opportunities. So either the obstacle or the opportunity, kind of the thing that's affecting the situation. So the situation is the Six of Wands, which is victory, and the thing that's affecting it is of mourning and sadness and the grief card. So, you know, at this time, you know, for us at the collective, there really is a lot of victory. We've had a lot of struggles, we've had a lot of fights, and we're coming to the end of a lot of those. We've gone through a whole bunch of retrogrades that have finally come to an end. You know, for the collective, there's so many ways that we have been, I know my friends have just been bombarded on every side. And so as we come to the end of that, I think really, you know, the thing that has helped us to reach this victory is to be willing to face our grief, face our sadness, face the things that are really haunting us, and facing those things forward, facing our pain. And as you know, as we do that, this situation of you know, excitement, happiness, growth, you know, comes into play. Okay, so then the basis of the situation is the warrior woman. And so I think, you know, to me today, this really brings the concept of, you know, coming into your power. So it is the Five of Cups. And so she, you know, she has come into her power, and the Archangel Raziel says, you know, he will help you to find your personal power. And as you come into your power, you find that personal power, you'll be able to grow. So the Five has a lot to do with change, movement, change of direction, change of focus. And so this situation, this victory, a lot of the basis of that has been coming into a better understanding of yourself and who you are. And I had an example yesterday of this coming into your power type of thing. I was wanting to do some things, you know, run some errands when I got home from the airplane. I had an appointment on the phone for an hour and a half and took care of that. And then I had some things to do. But in the meantime, I had found out that my ex and my kids were not out of town yet, even though they were supposed to have left already for Austin. And so I'm like, they aren't out of town yet, and they need to come over to my house and get a few things to take with them for the trip. And so I think, that was fine for them to do. I was glad I was home, because otherwise my alarm would have been, set. But in all of this situation that was happening, I really wanted to get to see my kids. And so because of a result of that, I started trying to change my schedule or change my life to accommodate the schedule that kept changing from these other people. And, from my ex and his mom, more so than from my children. Because obviously my children are very young, and it's really not up to them yet, kind of what the schedule is in their life. Anyway, so all of a sudden I realized I just need to do the things that I need to do and take back my power, and just know that my children will understand that I just didn't get to see them today. And so once I took back my power, I was able to be victorious in a situation that I was feeling, really frustrated, downhearted, and didn't know what to do. And, I realized, I wasn't even thinking that I was going to get to be able to see them. So we had, been doing our talking and everything otherwise. And so, we can't let other people's schedules, be ours. We take our power back, take our plans back, take back what we have, and be able to live that out in our lives. So that helped me go from feeling of frustration and almost anger to a sense of peace and taking back my power. So hopefully you guys can find that as well. Now, in the recent past, the past related to this victory is the Death card. And the Death card really is all about, things disappearing from your life, going from your life that are no longer valuable to you, so that new things can come in. And so a death to the old things and a birth to the new. And so certainly the victories that I'm having right now, and hopefully you guys are having right now, have a lot to do with, letting go of some of our past in order to move into the future. And the, I want to see what he calls it the present, yes. Yeah, that makes sense. The Hermit should be here. Constantly getting the Hermit card in different ways. And it's because, it really is a time to take that time and rest, meditate, relax. And so, for the next few days, I'll be at my aunt's house where I can do a lot of resting, but even more, still focus on her and on the cooking and stuff. But take a couple of days, just, or even a few hours, so maybe your life is such, you have all your responsibilities, find a couple of hours to step aside and to allow the Hermit energy into your life. And I think the other type of way that I've been learning about Hermit energy is the Virgo energy of, doing the little things. Oh my goodness, I'm talking way too much on this one. I'd seen a book that I had read a while ago that was about, how to feel good, how to choose to be happy. And it had said, what's one of the things that you don't like to do? And I said, well, I don't like to fold clothes. And in the past, I said, what are some of the reasons I don't like to fold clothes? And I had given, it was boring, and, it was a waste of time, and, those kind of things. And I said, well, how can you change the thought process to, it's a chance to be mindful. So during the time while you're folding clothes, you could choose to spend the entire time, instead of thinking, to watching yourself putting the clothes into the folding style and then putting them away, and having the precision that the Virgo brings of, folding things properly and putting them away. And then also the enjoying tasks that you don't do any thinking, because our thoughts are kind of, sometimes, especially for us air signs, would tend to take over our lives. So in the present situation, do as much hermit mode, either with the Virgo energy or with the meditation, seeking out great teachers and mentors at this time. So in the near future related to this, it would be the matriarch of vessels is the Queen of Cups. And so she's coming to us. She has an empty basket. And I think she's saying, you know, well, for some reason today I'm feeling like she gave all the stuff away. So she had a full basket. Maybe it was full of oranges, and they were having a celebration. And so she went around and gave each person an orange, or, you know, an apple, or a sweet tart, or, you know, whatever she had made and wanted to give out to everyone. And so, you know, now her basket is empty. She has given out to everyone, and she feels as happy and full as they do. So I think that by giving to others in the near future, it'll really give us a sense of happiness and joy. So the situation that, you know, the card that represents your power is the Ace of Pentacles. And so, you know, coming here with a combination of strengths and new strengths, and seeing things in a new light are what kind of be your power in this situation. It's interesting to me that it has the wolf and the cat. And I have one deck where the mountain lion cat is the sun card. And he's almost like playing with the sun. The way he's sitting, it's like he's playing with the sun like a cat does with a toy. And so the cat is coming to you and saying, you know, maybe one of the new ways to look at things is happiness is a choice. And if you're having struggling finding happiness, or even thinking of happiness, ask the Archangel Uriel, because that is like his main purpose and mission, is to help people understand happiness, bring happiness into their lives. And the wolf, I had just been reading about the wolf, and that was talking about how sometimes we can be a great leader in our families, but at times we can think that if people don't follow us, you know, exactly how we think they should go. Like if our kids don't do what we think they should do, if somebody in our family doesn't do what we think that they should do, that we judge them for those behaviors. And so the wolf comes to us and reminds us, you know, that part of how we act in this world is to allow other people to be themselves. And the warrior of vessels, which is the Knight of Cups, is the effects of people around you. So in this particular picture, it's kind of like he's looking out over, you know, he's seeing things from a big point of view. And I'm thinking, you know, which we can't really have family gatherings, but maybe your family has come up with a way to social distance and still, you know, wear masks and, you know, sort of stay further apart and those kind of things. It might be that there'll be somebody come there that is the introvert, that's sitting back and just watching the whole thing, you know, as watching the big picture. And that person might be important for you to interact with at this time. And the Hopes and Fears card, the Corn Dance, the Three of Cups. So, you know, the hopes would be that you would get to celebrate with your family and friends during this holiday season. The fears are that you wouldn't, but also maybe that, you know, some of the people who are there will get in the way of, you know, having the happiness that you want. So remember that in the end, your happiness is a choice that you make in your life, but that you know, try to be that happy, mindful person in your family during this time. So during Thanksgiving, the outcome card is the Matriarch of Shields, which is the Queen of Pentacles, which is like one of everyone's favorite queen in a lot of ways. You know, she's successful, she's friendly, she's full of life. And I love how she has kind of like this spirit animal that's guiding her. And it's like no matter what she's doing or where she's going, she's allowing the guidance to happen. And like I was talking about, you know, we can let down our guard. We don't have to be as defensive during this time because, you know, our spirit guides, our angels, our ancestors are there to protect us, lead us, and guide us in these situations. So, you know, the first part, you know, the seeds have been planted. Learn to balance things out, to find the good in everyone. And as we do that, things will begin to change with us. Transformation will occur, and we will really find this happy place and this soulmate that will help us in our life's journey. And then the outcome, you know, the Queen of Pentacles is a great outcome. You know, the situation of Six of Wands, victory is a great situation. You know, so as a collective, this particular Thanksgiving, this time period, I think we will have a lot of victory at this time. Now, it's kind of interesting I'm thinking about that. And I'm like, you know, it's kind of interesting for it to say that because we're getting to pick and choose a lot more. If we even want to get together, if we're an introvert, we can just stay home and say, well, I'm afraid of the coronavirus. You know, or, you know, we can pick and choose who we want to get together with more. So it's kind of a different holiday than before. And I really feel that this particular time in our lives has a lot to do with that, learning to stand on our own 2 feet, have our own personal power, and to express, you know, what we really want and desire at this time. So we may not all get exactly what we want, but at the same time, kind of in some ways, we have kind of a higher chance to at least express what's the most important to us. Okay, so I want to end with a card from this deck. It's a new deck that I have. It's a Lenormand Oracle cards. Kind of an interesting style. Let's just see what messages the spirit guides and ancestors and all of those have for us for Thanksgiving. So this video is not going to have an extended. If there are any extra things that you would like to know, I'd be happy to do a private reading for you. It's $25 for the first half hour, and it's you can just do a video chat with me. So we could do that and have a little time with video chat and some cards and kind of take a look at some additional information for this time. And then also, so you can always just, you know, private message me. My Facebook is Spiritual Rebirth Tarot, and you can find me on that. And then also the Instagram, I think it's Spiritual Rebirth Tarot 8, maybe. So it's either Tarot or Tarot 8. So I always try to put the 8 in, or Spiritual Rebirth 8 sometimes. And then certainly if you're enjoying this presentations on this channel, feel free to give a donation. That I have the PayPal listed below, or the Cash App. And then all of the cards that I use, I don't have some of the newer decks on there yet. Sorry about that, but I'll get to those soon. Yeah, so all the cards I use, I try to have listed down below for you. So the next thing that we'll be looking at here in this channel is Saturday with the Pleiadian meteor shower. And so I'd like to, when I get home on Saturday, spend some time possibly live or possibly not live, we'll see, in the energies of that shower. And it's a great time for universal meditation throughout the world. So what's interesting is the one. A gentleman riding English style on his horse. Trying to see what's in the background there. Looks like a castle. Like he lives in a very fancy place and he's off for a little ride. Okay, number one, horseman. A young man has pleasant surprises in store. A young man goes ahead at the expense of the querent. Interesting. Okay, so this young man, he's on his horse, he's going for a ride, but there are surprises in store that he may not be aware of. Let's get one more card and see if it'll tell us what the surprise is. Oh, but it's not a surprise if we already know. Maybe kind of what theme, at least. What should we be thinking about and watching for? 31. Oh, it's beautiful. The sun is coming up there. All the rays. So 31 is a 4. It is the sun card. So the surprise is the sun. Awareness of possibilities, resolved problems, okay. Awareness of possibilities and resolved problems. So it's kind of like we're coming to the end. So as he goes out on his little journey, maybe he just goes out and he has a lot of fun. And then when he comes home, a lot of the problems are taken care of. People that were fighting aren't fighting anymore. He's pleasantly surprised by the things that have occurred while he went off and had a little fun. So that's it. What this is saying is, during this time, go have a little fun. And while you do that, good things will happen. Okay, thank you so much for coming to this channel and to this reading for the Thanksgiving special for the collective with the Celtic Cross message. And go out and have a little fun, and good things will happen.